Hi y'all, this is Pokemon Go trainer Chris. Niantic released information lately about a bunch of live events lined up for the first half of the year. And in this video, we're going to cover some possible one-day trip planning for the first live Safari Zone event in St. Louis, Missouri at Tower Grove Park. Yes, I did say one-day trip planning. Not all trips need to be long with the stress of finding accommodations. It's kind of saving money if you're not finding a place to stay overnight. It is very possible because I did this for the first time last year when I went to the Safari Zone in Montreal. All I brought with me was a bag to hold my essentials, my working phone, my battery pack, my charging cable, water, healthy snacks, and my wallet. Oh, if you have any questions about the Safari Zone event, let me know in the comments below. I'll answer all your questions, and I'll even consider making a video talking about my experience at the Safari Zone in Montreal. Subscribe if you're interested. But the one-day trip planning, it really depends on where you're coming from and the level of flexibility in your life. So by the end of this video, you'll know if a one-day trip is a possible option for you as a solo traveler or with your family. The featured Pokemon of this event happening between March 27th to the 29th include Mankey, Unknown S, Teddiursa, Snivy, Ferroseed, and the regional Pokemon Chatot. So if you're looking for a shiny minty Mankey, or looking to fill that missing Pokédex entry, or hoping Teddiursa's shiny form makes its debut, you might want to invest in attending this event in some way. Tickets went live Friday, January 24th, and as of this video's posting, Saturdays are completely sold out. So only Friday and Sunday tickets are available. In order to be as flexible as possible with travel, the 12 p.m. regular admission will probably be your best pick, and the cost of that ticket would be around $18. If we choose to attend Friday, what would that look like? As a Friday attendee, I'll probably be the first to know the Pokestop layout at Tower Grove Park, what kind of research tasks are there to complete, and what the spawns and shiny rates are actually like. From my experience, shiny rates are boosted at an event like Safari Zone, but I've only been to one Safari Zone, so it might or might not change for upcoming events. Hopefully it doesn't change, so we'll just be optimistic and say the shiny rate will be boosted at this Safari Zone. All of this information can be confirmed and posted on Reddit to benefit Saturday and Sunday ticket holders so they know exactly what to expect. On the flip side, I would have to take Friday off from work, and I'll possibly be a guinea pig to any potential gameplay bugs that are introduced as they roll out the event for the first time. But we can usually count on Niantic to do their job most of the time. Anyways, it is still not a far-fetched idea to try out Friday if your circumstances align more with that day. Now, unless you live in any of the nearby surrounding areas near St. Louis, Missouri, flying is probably the fastest way to get there. Of course, taking a train or driving is still a viable option if you're on a budget and if your proximity to an event allows that type of ground transportation. Since I am based on the East Coast, let's take a look at a couple of flight options that could make this one-day trip possible. Using Southwest, let's pick New York City and DC to fly out of to St. Louis and compare how much a round-trip flight would cost. We will want to fly and get there early before the event and return back home after the event ends. So we take a look in the Southwest app and we put in New York to St. Louis on 27th Friday. Let's take a look at the flights and see what's available. I personally like to take direct flights, so here I see there's a 7:30 a.m. flight that lands at 9:15 a.m. in St. Louis for $168. And for the return flight, I'll probably want to pick the 7:40 p.m. flight and land back in New York at 11 p.m. So that's $124. So altogether, this round trip flight would cost $291.96, which it's not bad. Well, I mean, to each their own. Everyone will have their opinion about that cost. Let's take a look at what DC looks like. So if I fly out from DC to St. Louis on Friday, for direct flights, there's the 8:40 a.m. flight for $157. And for the return flight, there's a 7:25 p.m. landing at 10:10 p.m. for $157. So the total cost flying out from DC, a round trip flight would cost $313.96. Still, that's not too bad, maybe. But at least I'll be there for the whole event with these flight times. Out of curiosity, I'm just going to look at what it would look like if we fly out from Los Angeles on the West Coast. So we put in Los Angeles to St. Louis. Okay, these flights are a lot more expensive, and I can see the time doesn't really align well with the timing of the events. So it might be a little difficult to make a one-day trip if you're flying from the West Coast. But you can probably do more research on your own with other different airports and see if a one-day trip is still a viable option. So let's go with planning from flying out from New York City using Southwest. When we add the cost of the round-trip flight and the event ticket, so far our total one-day trip cost would be $310.06. So that's combining the $291.96 plus the $18.10 for the ticket. So far, our timeline would look something like this. Let's assume we board the flight 30 minutes before departure at 7:30 a.m. So we would have to get to the airport by 6 a.m. to check in and go through security. We will have to wake up at around 4:30 a.m. assuming we spend about an hour getting ready to leave, and our commute is 25 minutes long to the airport. We have to leave by 5:30 a.m. Already a really busy morning. Okay, so everything went smoothly, we boarded, and the flight went great. And once we land in St. Louis, around 9:15 a.m., then what? Well, we could rent a car, which would probably be the most expensive option. We could order a Uber or Lyft, or we can take the public transit. Now, taking Uber or Lyft might be the most efficient method to get to Tower Grove Park for your money, but I'm more of a public transit guy, so let's try and take a look at what that would look like. So using the St. Louis Metro Sites trip planner, let's enter the airport address. This is like terrible user experience. I'm just gonna use Google Maps. All right, so we have the public transit option, which would take about an hour transit, and we would have to transfer at least twice. Even though public transit might be very cheap, like $2 or $3, I think I would lean towards Uber or Lyft. So let's assume our Uber or Lyft is a maximum of $25. So that brings our one-day trip total to $335.06. The commute there would take about 25 minutes, it looks like, and we will arrive at the event by 10 a.m. Keep in mind that's almost 6 hours just to get to the event, so make sure you take a nap on the plane if you get exhausted easily from traveling. So we're at the event starts, we do the event, we catch all the shinies, we meet new people, add new friends, do our 10,000 steps, all for 6 hours straight. And after the event ends at 6 p.m., take another ride back to the airport. There's no time to sightsee or see any other attractions. You're on a very tight schedule. Assuming the maximum cost of that return Uber or Lyft ride is $25, our final total cost for our one-day trip is $360.06. By now, everyone is tired and you can sleep on your way back home. Click the like button if it helped to see an example of time and cost estimates altogether. Now, what if we went Sunday? This entire scenario I outlined in this video would most likely be very similar if we chose Sunday. The only difference would probably be we would know more about specific details about the event from Friday and Saturday ticket holders, so we would know what to expect and we'd be pumped before it's our turn. Total price would probably be more or less the same, give or take $100 maybe. It really comes down to the flight costs or what kind of transportation you're using to get to the event. And that wraps up the general process of determining what a one-day trip would look like to the first Safari Zone of the year. This price though, what do you think about this price? Is it too expensive? Is it just right? Like you expected it to be that much? Would you try a one-day trip to St. Louis, Missouri for Safari Zone? Or does the one-day trip idea just completely turn you off? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like uncovered random Pokemon Go topics, please click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll post another video next week centering around the topic of shiny odds. So if you're interested in learning more about that subject, click subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Thanks for tuning in and see you in the next video.